Hi guys, welcome back and welcome to a new dragging video. You guys, let's go through today's dragging video. It has a theme, so this is like a new thing I'm doing for the videos. I'll try and look for themes every now and then, not all the time. So today's theme is Louis Vuitton and Goyard. Louis Vuitton and Goyard, I think, are kind of like arch rivals as well. You know, like how LV and Big H are arch rivals. I was reading about the history of the brands. They were both founded within like a year of each other. Like Maison Goyard was like incorporated in 1853. Louis Vuitton opens his first boutique in 1854. Even though that the Goyard brand has its roots in the 1790s, it didn't officially become Goyard until 1853, and that's the year that the company itself uses for its founding. So that's what we'll use. So I thought it could be fun to do a Louis Vuitton and Goyard themed video, and also Goyard is celebrating 170 years this year, and they have released a capsule collection. I'll put some pictures up on the screen. There's some really cute pieces, honey. You know, in my view on Goyard is always how it is. I love the products. I think they're beautiful. I love the way they look. I love the chevron monogram. The way people are treated is another thing. So let's get started. Let's start off with the Goyard flagship boutique in New York in America. I've never purchased at Goyard before. This is from Yelp, but I'm a lover of all things designer, so I decided to go. To begin with, they have you wait in this absurd line for about an hour and the inside is empty and there are only 2 essays. They probably do this to create hype around their product. Yeah, I agree. The essay was really the one who ruined the experience for me. Just turn up the screen there. His condescending attitude needed to be checked. I think he needs to be reminded he's a worker at Goyard and not the clients. I don't agree with that, but okay. Like I said, I've never purchased from Goyard before. However, I knew the bag style I wanted. I didn't know the bag color or size. I waited in line for an hour. I think it's okay for me to be indecisive. Yeah. I asked him to get different sizes and colors in the same bag. At one point, he stated I should just know the colors I want to get because he doesn't want to keep going up and down. Boo-hoo, cry me a river. Ah! I asked him what the return policy was. I could feel his antsiness in the lack of my decisiveness, and I thought I could hurry the process. I thought I could make the process quicker by asking the return policy because I narrowed down the size and bag I wanted. I was conflicted between colors. He stated that if I didn't know which bag I liked, he thinks I should just come back and decide because they don't do refunds. They only do exchange and store credit. His demeanor implied I would use the bag and return it. I told him directly I don't plan on using the bag and returning it. He has to pay with Apple Pay, and he stated that they don't take Apple Pay and they can only use one card and not multiple cards, even with the same name on each card. He really needs to work on his customer service skills. It's a shame that Goyard employs him to represent the company. Okay, so there are a few things. First of all, the scene at Goyard, like from the reviews that I've read and all the research I've done, is like they don't like people who are indecisive. Like, I don't get the feeling that Goyard likes like clients who want to discover the products in store. I think that when you arrive, you need to know what you want to buy. I would just to say the best way to kind of decrease all of this stress and pain, browse on the website and look at the things you like on the website, or go on their Instagram. They have a pretty good Instagram, surprisingly, for a brand that is quite moody and prickly. They have this like gothic, like, you know, Wuthering Heights, Bronte kind of moodiness. They're always moaning and complaining, like Goyard, like just how they seem. For a brand that seems kind of moody, their Instagram and their products are very vibrant, very colorful. They have beautiful colors and things like that. So I think she should have just gone on the website if she was indecisive. I totally respect her point about the fact that she queued and waited. And I do agree with her when she says that they do it for hype. But at the same time, I'm just like, Goyard is a well-known entity at this point in the luxury scene. Anyone who shops at like Louis Vuitton, Big H, you know, Dior, Big C, Gucci, etc., everyone knows like what Goyard is about. All you have to do is just go read the Google reviews for every location. There are many people who are very unhappy with poor treatment, and people have complained of poor treatment. I personally like the products. I think the products are really cool. I don't want to get dragged, so I'm not going to go to Goyard and be indecisive. If I'm going to Goyard, I know what I'm getting if I'm in the market for something from them, and I wouldn't be there to waste anyone's time. I would hope that would avoid me getting dragged, hopefully. When the essay told her that they don't take Apple Pay and they only use one card, not multiple cards with the same name, I find that really hard to believe because I think it's completely normal in luxury stores to ask to split payments and it's not a big thing, particularly if it's like a big purchase. I don't see what the issue is, or like a relatively big purchase. Even if it's not a big purchase, like I've never like heard of this thing of, oh no, you're not allowed to, split purchase, because obviously if it's your card, like, maybe like me, for example, I have like 3 cards. Like if I wanted to split a purchase between 2 cards, like why would that be an issue? Maybe he just said that to her because he felt like she wasn't going to buy today. And he was just like, "Grah, I'm done with you, just whatever." Okay. So again, not saying it's right. Don't have a go at me. I'm just saying, like, I don't believe that. And then when the essay says to her, he stated, "I should just know the colors I want and sizes," so he doesn't want to go up and down. He didn't think she was buying, and he felt like she was a time waster, and he told her he doesn't want her to go up and down and stuff. I don't know about how I feel about this, because on the one hand, I'm like, she wants to see the sizes. She's well within her rights to want to see the bag sizes. At the same time, I'm also kind of like, could you like not also kind of inconvenience the essay by asking them, like, can you do this, can you do this, can you show me this, can you show me like 10 million things, but I'm only going to buy one item. I can see both sides, and I can see like why that he was annoyed at, and I can also see her point as well. I think where she really made the mistake was asking the return policy. If she had no intent of returning the bag, why ask about the return policy? So they don't do refunds, they only do store credit and exchanges, just like Big H. Big H and Goyard are not playing with the girls, honey. They are done with the girls, they're tired, they're not playing with you, and they don't want to deal with people who want to, buy things and in order to return them. I know that many of you are in America. I know in America and Canada, like, that you can return things and it's not a problem. I respect that. But I do see the point of luxury brands. It has to be very exhausting dealing with people who buy things just to return them. And there are many people who, they like the feeling of shopping at a luxury brand, but they don't want to pay for it. There are many of these people who just go to a store, they'll buy something, and then they'll look for an excuse to return something. And then I told him directly, I don't plan on using the bag and returning it. Well, why do you need to know the return policy? If you have no intention of returning the item, you don't need to know the return policy. Like, you also are also very confusing here. You're indecisive, you keep pages, you don't know what you want, and then you're like, oh, I have no intention of returning it, but can you tell me the return policy so I know how to return the bag? Okay, I can also see Goyard's point. Okay, the next drag review is also from the Goyard boutique. I knew exactly what I wanted, so I arrived today 30 minutes before closing. When we arrived there were 2 other groups in line, no big deal. But minutes later, the doorman yelled at us, "I don't know why you're all here, the store is closed, they stopped taking clients at 5:30, none of you will be let in." Not once, but several times I let him know I would be in and out. And to which he said, "That's what everyone says, people end up taking an hour." I came all the way, so I decided to wait anyway. 10 minutes later, I finally got to speak to the SA at the door about the bag I wanted, which apparently they had in store, but he was unavailable to let me purchase it. What an interesting sales approach. Don't blame your clients for waiting patiently outside during your open store hours. Don't know if the issue was if it was due to the SAs, but we were practically shooed away despite the boutique being open. This is very embarrassing for what's considered to be a luxury brand and deters me from ever buying anything from Goyard. They don't need my money, and I most certainly don't need their goods. Just wanted to give those a fair warning. Expect absolutely nothing here. I'd rather spend my money elsewhere. Okay, so this is similar to what happened to me at the Versace boutique at the Avenue Montaigne. Something very similar. I came towards the end of the day and the experience was not good, and it was like I came like 40 minutes before closing. What I have found, and in my experience, European luxury brands do not like clients coming before closing hours. I know that this is the Goyard boutique in New York, the flagship store, but at the end of the day, it's still one of the Paris girls, honey, and they operate by the Paris luxury code. And let me know if you want to hear that video, because I do have a video and I do have a blog post about the luxury code, okay, that the Paris girls seem to kind of stand by. And I found that this has tended to be true. And like the fact that she came at 5:30, the boutique's going to be closing in 30 minutes. to the client, she's like, well, I'm here when it's open, and I get her point. But I feel like for the European luxury brands, they really don't like people who come literally at closing and at the end of the day. It's something that they're very turned off by. I'm not saying that she deserved the treatment. I'm just trying to say that this something similar also happened to me, again, in Europe as well, even though I know that this is America. Okay. The Goyard, this is another dragging review of the New York Goyard. Goyard's getting dragged, honey. The Goyard New York customer service was super disappointing and unprofessional. I went to Goyard with 3 of my friends. I wanted to show them the Goyard experience since they only know mall type designs. Little did I know our experience would be far from it. We stood in line for about 10 minutes. After we got in, the doorman greeted us professionally, directed us to the back. Once we got in, we were assigned to the SA's name. She asked what I was looking for. When I told her I was visiting and did not know offhand, her attitude was short and dismissive. I asked if there are any exclusives. She said, no, we have what every other Goyard has. But after I had checked out, the other SA asked me if I saw their capsule exclusives. In addition, each time I wanted to view a product in a different color, I had to interrupt her from being on her phone or cracking jokes with another co-worker. I've been a long-time patron of Goyard and always admired the luxury of the product and experience. Unfortunately, this time at this location did not reflect Goyard's dedication to excellence. I will never go there again. Okay, so this one again is one of those things, you know, that we've talked about in my Paris luxury videos. Even though this is the Goyard boutique in New York, I think it's something similar. Remember, like how I always was saying, like when you go there to the freestanding stores, just make sure that you are very clear what you're buying. This gentleman went there with his friends. He wanted to show them what Goyard was like. The SA asked him, like, what are you looking for? I told her I was visiting and didn't know offhand. So you're just here to look around and to browse. Remember, I've told you guys about how the Paris girls have an anti-browsing strategy. The SA obviously lost interest because he was like, oh, I'm just visiting and I don't know offhand what I'm looking for. Well, the SA is not a mind reader, honey. You need to explain what you're here to buy. It is a shop. It's not a museum. It's not a warehouse to look at things. It's a shop. People go to shops to buy things, okay? So again, I can see both sides. Goyard sounds like a brutal place to shop. I would not go to Goyard just to visit, and I don't know offhand what I'm looking for. I would know what I'm buying to minimize getting dragged. It's very unfortunate that he asked about the exclusives. We have no exclusives. They did have exclusives. She didn't want to sell him any because she didn't think he was going to buy anything else. Okay, I don't make the rules. I just come to report the dragging stories. The next review from Goyard. This was my first experience going to this Goyard location, and it will be my last. I went to this location with my mom and sisters. Upon our arrival, the security guard told us only 4 people can go in at a time. We were a party of 6, including 2 children. We were okay with that because 4 of us went in and the remaining 2 were allowed to sit in chairs inside instead of sitting in the heat. The disrespect peaked the moment we were greeted by the SA. We asked to see several colors of a clutch, to which he handed us 3 colors at a time. Our mother asked to keep the drawer open. He completely ignored her and closed it. According to him, we can see the colors displayed in the card holder display cabinet. We all know that the colors on different items will appear differently, so we need to see the item physically before we make a purchase. When we asked to see the clutch before it got wrapped, this SA picked out one from the cabinet that was defective. The zipper was difficult to open and close, and the leather was scrunched up. We had to ask him to bring out another clutch, and he didn't like that we asked him to do that. My sister asked about a bag she'd wanted that was unavailable at this location, and the SA told her that it needed to be shipped with an extra fee. When she asked about the safety of the process, he rolled his eyes at her and said that they ship items to clients all the time. He gave her this look like take it or leave it. He said he gave her this look like take it or leave it, and then he said look at a luxury store. He said what he said in a demeaning tone, as if our purchases weren't important. Isn't the first rules of sales winning the heart of your client and building mutual trust? Those working at luxury stores need to make sure that their clients are comfortable making purchases. We should not be coerced into making a purchase as if the salespeople are paying out of their own pockets. I forgot to mention that one of the dust bags we received with our purchases wasn't clean. To top off this horrendous experience, the SA and his colleagues made fun of us when they took our items to get wrapped. Oh my God, Goyard. I cannot with this brand. As a family, we all place our purchases on our mother's account because she's the most frequent shopper at luxury stores. While paying, we overheard the essay making fun of how we all place our purchases on one account. They laughed at the thought of us thinking it was like Hermes, where each shopper gets a profile and points. It was very disrespectful. This Goyard experience was very underwhelming, and this is coming from those of us who've been to luxury stores all over the Middle East and Europe who will fly to another location to avoid going to this location. If there was a way of reporting this incident to the Maison Goyard headquarters, I definitely would. They don't care, but both. If the Goyard head office, honey, in Paris, we would not care. Okay, first of all, I do think that people who shop in groups might not also realize how super annoying it is, I think, sometimes for CAs and for people who own brand like boutiques to deal with people who shop in groups. When I was running my beauty boutique, I had my own store here in Dar. Whenever we would get people who shopped in groups, in my experience, people who shop in groups spend less money. That's the first thing that I remember when I was running my store. And I remember my employees, 2 of whom still work for me today when I was in like my other company now, but when I was running the retail store, they were working at the store as well. And I remember they would always be like, oh, you know, today a bunch of people came to the store and they were in a group and they're so annoying, they're so loud, they're always talking, yelling, whatever. But at the end of the day, when it comes to buying stuff, they're difficult, they want you to show. And that's something which I remember from when I had my retail business. Like, people who shop in groups, whether it's a family or not isn't the point. I'm saying people who come in a group together. There were 6 of them, including 2 young children. Can you show me this? Can you show me that? The mom is like, can you keep the cabinet open so I can look around? The essay is like, no, I get where the essay is coming from. Guys, I've said this before, this is not a warehouse, it's a luxury store. Treat it like a luxury store. Don't treat it like a warehouse, okay, where you're just looking at things in this kind of ramshackle, you know, approach. I'm not saying I agree with the way he spoke to her mom, but let me tell you something. My mom wouldn't be like, can you keep things open for me so I can just look around? She wouldn't do that. She would know why she's going there and what she's going to buy. Okay, I'm just saying, like, that's all I'm saying, okay, because I can't. And then the next thing that I wanted to mention here, yeah, it's bang out of order for him to roll his eyes at the client. That's wrong. And the take it or leave it thing isn't cool. He gave her this take it or leave it look at a luxury store, which is asking about like the process. And I think what he meant by look at a luxury store is like, you know, take it or leave it, look at a luxury store, like this is a luxury store, like why wouldn't it be safe for you to have, you know, things shipped? And I'm not saying it's right, but dealing with groups in boutiques isn't my first choice. Like, if I was running a retail business again, I definitely wouldn't want to deal with people who come to shop in groups. What I have found is people who shop in groups, as I told you, just spend less money and they're way more demanding on the employee's time. He wasn't here for the BS, okay? And he was like, you know, so then when they say, can all the purchases be put on the mother's profile, the essay is like, let me stop you right there, okay? Because I need to go and laugh at you with my other colleagues. Oh my God, I just can't. That is very unprofessional and that is absolutely unacceptable and bang out of order. And that's what I want us to talk about, is absolutely bang out of order. Like, the essay and his colleagues made fun of them when they were wrapping them, getting them ready, like, oh, we're gonna place them on our mother's account. And we overheard the essay making fun of how we will place purchases on one account. They laughed at us thinking it was like Hermes, where each shopper gets a profile added. So basically the essay is like making fun of them asking for everything to be on her like profile, just like taking that opportunity to take, you know, a crack at them, to take a pop at them, to take a shot at them. That is unacceptable and bang out of order. Now, that's the final dragging review from Goyard. I actually think Goyard is like the best example of this theory in the luxury marketing world. that the meaner the essay is to the client, the more people want to shop at the brand. There was a study done ages ago. I've mentioned this before. I don't remember like the link, because I do remember it being mentioned in the Wall Street Journal, but it was many years ago. There was a study that found the meaner luxury essays are, the more people want to shop at the brand. We have seen this in question at Big H, at Big C, at Big LV, and I think Goyard is the best example of this. Many people have complained of poor treatment at Goyard. The people who say that Goyard is a great experience who say that Goyard is a great experience for them are people who have long profiles at the Goyard Maison and have shopped there for many years, and they're known to the brand. But many people have complained of very poor treatment at this brand in many of the locations. Whenever I'm just like, girl, what's Goyard up to? You know, Goyard's dragging the girls' honey, and the girls are clapping back, and Goyard claps back again. It is not acceptable in any shape or form for a luxury essay to make fun of a client. That is not acceptable. I don't want anyone to think I'm condoning that, but groups are difficult in retail shops, whether it's luxury or not. I just had a beauty boutique and we were selling beauty products. Anytime people came in groups or pairs, I always preferred to deal with people who would just come alone. I felt like it was always easier to convince people to buy items. Whenever people come in groups, they're loud, they're hollering, they want to see everything, they want to touch everything. It's a lot and it is exhausting. So if you're shopping in a group, don't make it difficult for the people who work at these brands. The next dragging review is from the Louis Vuitton in New York City on Fifth Avenue. Like many others, I had a less than desirable experience at Louis Vuitton. My friends and I were asked if we were looking for anything in particular. We said not really. I just wanted to look at bags, and my friend wanted to look at wallets. Keyword, look. We were told we would get an essay to help us. The essay started off friendly. We thanked him. We said we let him know if we need anything. He proceeded to follow us around, which I didn't like and found very uncomfortable, but I figured he needed to stay close just in case we needed him. He wasn't engaging with us. He was on his phone, but I didn't really care as we didn't need help. After the first 2 floors, we didn't like anything but wanted to see the rest of the store before leaving. We proceeded upstairs. He immediately began talking with another employee, showing them videos. He then said loudly and rudely, "They don't need my help, though I'm supposed to be selling stuff." It was clear shade to us and very unnecessary. I fully understand that's his job, is to sell merchandise. Probably wants to sell commission he probably wants to get commission so he can sell. So he probably wants to get commission, so he wants to sell items. I get it. However, we did not ask for him to follow us around. We did not say we were going to buy things. I'm not sure if it's LV's policy that these essays have to be with you until you leave the store, but we were perfectly fine with him going to help others. Our visit was short and we had no intention of buying things. We were on our way so others could go in, and as we were leaving, he gave us the dirtiest look and didn't say goodbye, and I've never experienced this at any other luxury brand. LV is overpriced, overrated, and fits that snotty stereotype. If you want to trick people into paying thousands for ugly, overvalued items, maybe be nicer about it. Well, they weren't so overvalued that you thought it was okay for you to go in there and look around. People always want to come with clapbacks in these reviews, like they didn't go into the Louis Vuitton boutique to look around. Okay, so I think, first of all, this person's bang out of order. You're bang out of order. It is the Louis Vuitton New York, Fifth Avenue flagship, okay? You walked in there with your friend and you're like, we just want to look around. Luxury brands, particularly the Paris girls, they do that one-to-one service thing where the essay is assigned with you and essay sticks with you the whole time. That is their thing, and since the panoramic, that is something which the Paris girls, the Milan girls, the London girls, the New York girls are sticking to, okay? And that is the new normal. So they're not going to leave you and then you're just going to be walking around on your own. They're going to stay with you, and that is a fact. It's a shop, okay? A shop exists to sell products and items. You want to come there to look around like it's baby's day out. The issue with reviews like this one is these are the people who make luxury shopping really difficult for the rest of us who are not there to waste anyone's time. I've always said it, and I mean it. They want you to essentially know if you're going to buy something. I think it's fine to browse, particularly if this is a very big store. So I think it's completely feasible that it would be fine to browse. But yeah, the essay is going to be there and it's going to be walking with you. And the essay was probably annoyed and was blowing off some steam with that person. I'm supposed to be selling stuff, but they don't need any help. Why are you there if you're not there to buy things? Louis Vuitton has a fantastic app. If you want to look around on the app, you can do it on the app. They have concessions. I think in New York they have a Saks Fifth Avenue concession as well. You can go to the department store and look around. I think to minimize stress, only go there if you're ready to buy something. You can also go on the website as well. I think a lot of people, again, like that feeling and knowing that they went there, but they don't want to buy things and they don't want to partake in like the portion of this stuff where you actually have to pay for the stuff. I think that these people are super annoying, and I would really hate if I had to be the SA to deal with super annoying people like this. No intention of buying. They just want to look around, touch everything, but with zero intention of buying. For them, you know, going to Louis Vuitton is just a day trip out, and it's just like a fun day out, like going on a day trip, you know, to God knows where. So I can imagine these people are super annoying. I'm on the side of the SA. Sorry. I am. These people are super annoying. The next one is from Louis Vuitton Soho in Manhattan in New York. Absolutely horrible. My friend and I were going to buy a pair of shoes and some clothes. We came in and we were greeted absolutely horrible with nasty looks just because we're not dressed to their standards. Then we were taken with someone. She was the most inattentive, rude person we ever met. This poster is a man, by the way. We asked to see the shoes and walked down. When we asked to see the prices, she acted like there's no way we could afford it. We asked where the men's clothing was. I was looking at the clothes. She came up to my friend and I and said, "Are you ready to leave?" in the worst attitude ever. I politely said, "No, I'm looking to buy something." She gave me the dirtiest and most judgmental look I've ever gotten. After that, we walked out. I'm never shopping here again. I don't recommend it to anyone. You know, I think, you know, here he says that they were treated badly because they were not dressed to their standards. Anytime I say this, there's always someone fighting me saying, "Oh, I walked into a store, I was naked and I was given great, you know, service. It doesn't matter what you look like." I've always said it does matter what you look like. Maybe for regulars, but I think if you're not known to the store and they don't know who you are and you come in looking like, you know, like Raggedy Ann, you know, off the street, I think, you know, it does matter what you look like. And that's something which I believe, and some of you tell me, "Oh, in America it doesn't matter what you look like." Well, obviously it matters at Louis Vuitton Soho, honey, in Manhattan, in New York, honey, because he got dragged. Him and his friend were not dressed properly, even though they wanted to come to buy ready-to-wear. I'm quite surprised, though, that they said they wanted to buy ready-to-wear and still got dragged, okay? So let's put our best foot forward to minimize getting dragged. That's the key point of these reviews, is to minimize getting dragged. The last one is from Louis Vuitton Soho in Manhattan, New York in America. I'm visiting from out of town, and upon the recommendation of my CA, who always provides the best experience back home, whether I'm buying nothing or a handbag or several items, I asked to take a picture and was told no, which of course I understand is at the discretion of the store. But then my son was told he's not allowed to look around at a separate counter, needs to stay by my side, even though my husband was wandering around just fine. My son, who's an entire grown adult, by the way. Okay, that's weird. My CA was person's name. And she stayed glued to her phone the whole time. She was cordial, but she wasn't really engaged. I found it annoying that another shop was not only taking pictures and videos, but the CA took their picture. I decided not to make a purchase based on this experience. The CA was very involved with her phone, would only answer occasional questions, but I finally gave up, decided to leave empty-handed. I'd rather wait to have something ordered with a CA who is at least engaged. While I expected Soho to be snooty, I had high hopes for LV, as I've always had a good experience in other locations. Okay, now I want to mention something that happened to my husband at the New Bond Street boutique of Louis Vuitton in London when we were there on holiday, if you remember my London trip. He went to the store on his own, and he purchased that belt. And he tried on shoes and stuff. He took pictures and filmed videos. He got the CA to take a picture of him. The CA happily took a picture of him. They got him to download the app. They set up his, he already has a profile, but they were like helping him like download the app, whatever. And they were like, "Oh, download the app. I think that if you are not buying something and you're not clear that you're buying, they don't want you to take pictures, okay? That is something which I have noted. I've never been told at Louis Vuitton that I can't take a picture or film a video or something, but I don't go with the intention of never buying. I'll always leave with something, even if it's something small or something like that. I will always make sure that I leave with something. So that's the first thing. So, you know, she was like, can I take a picture? The CA is like, no, you didn't buy anything. CA is like, you're not taking a picture in here. Girl, okay, bye. You're not taking a picture here, you haven't bought anything. She should have bought something. And I think it's like clear when you're buying something. And that's why I was like, someone was telling me off in one of my videos about like the tips of luxury shopping to avoid getting dragged. Like, oh, these things are so obvious. Why are you, you know, talking all this crap? And I'm like, it's obvious how. People are still going to stores, not making it clear that they're buying something. You have to make it clear, like, hey, I would like to buy this today. And remember what I said, can you show me other things that you have? I'm going to buy this, but show me other things that you have. That way the CA is like going to look for things, whatever. And then you take your pictures and you film your videos. I think the thing about her adult son, I think that was a bit strange. I think that they just felt like she wasn't buying anything. The CA was just tired. Your hometown CA is not the same as a tourist CA who doesn't know you, regardless of how big your profile is, maybe for the VIPs who spend 6 figures a year. But your hometown CA is not the same person, okay? My hometown CA is the Johannesburg CA, who was wonderful to me, even though I just bought a perfume. But I'm under no illusions that the like Louis Vuitton CAs in Europe don't care about that purchase and they just want me to spend way more. I would still prefer to spend way more with her, and that is what I'm going to do when I go to Louis Vuitton and buy more items. But like your hometown CA, like even though this person's like, oh, she's nice to me whether I buy nothing or whether I buy a lot, that's your hometown CA. Of course they care about you, but the tourist CA doesn't care about you. They don't know you. Why would they care? I'd love to know what you think about all of these dragging videos. Let's debrief, dragging reviews, I beg your pardon. What do you think of all of these dragging reviews from today from Louis Vuitton and Goyard? Guys, look, okay, these dragging review videos started because I would always read luxury like store reviews even before I started filming YouTube, because I always found it fascinating how people got dragged. I'm sorry, some of this stuff is common sense and people are still getting dragged because they refuse to listen. I always get told off whenever I film dragging reviews. People always tell me off and say, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. You can turn up there naked, in your knickers, in your pants. It doesn't matter what you look like. Let me stop you right there, okay? At Louis Vuitton Soho, this gentleman and his friend turned up looking like looking raggedy and got dragged. Okay, it's written here. He said, you know, they didn't look nice and they got dragged. Okay, I don't like being dragged. I want nice, you know, cheerful cupcake Pegasus experiences at luxury stores. So I don't mind, you know, putting on the Versace shades, honey, putting on some big H lip gloss, some dual lip gloss, honey, and looking groomed and presentable and looking nice at tourist locations. And a lot of these reviews are not people who are, it's like that's their home store. It's like a tourist, someone from out of town is passing through to pick something up and then ends up getting dragged. Now, with the Louis Vuitton thing, like with this one, the Louis Vuitton CA, she did not make it clear to the CA that she's buying something. The CA is on her phone, losing interest, getting bored. I have found that Louis Vuitton CAs, I feel like, make a decision in the first like 2-3 minutes whether they want to invest any time with you, offer you drinks, like in the first like few minutes. You need to capture their attention quickly. Like, look at me right now and I'm speaking, I'm looking at you guys. You need to capture their attention. You need to get them to focus on you. We've been through this. I still get dragged and yelled at myself whenever I say, you walk into the store and say, particularly if you're from out of town, hello, I would like to buy this today. Do you have it available? Do you have other things you can show me? You need to make it clear you're buying today in tourist locations. Now, when it pertains to Goyard, Goyard is bang out of order. Goyard's like, I think what took me out today, out of all the Goyard stories, honey, is the story of the group. The group getting laughed at, the essay laughing at the group with other essays like, they think it's I'm not laughing at the client. I'm laughing at the absurdity and the craziness of a luxury essay, you know, cracking jokes away with other essays like, they think this is big H. Who's gonna tell them? Like, pick somebody else. Goyard, bruh, you're crazy, you're wild. That brand is wild, okay? I don't want to get dragged. I love Goyard products, but I don't want to get dragged. So if I go to the Goyard boutique in Paris this summer, I'm gonna make sure that I look amazing, and I'm gonna make sure that I know what I'm buying. Hello, I'd like to buy this today. Is it available for purchase today? Because I just can't. I'd love to know what you think about everything. Please consider liking, I can't speak because I'm laughing so hard, liking, commenting, and subscribing to my channel. And yeah, I'd love to just see you in my Facebook groups, link below. Go follow my Instagram as well, and go find me on TikTok. I also have a public Facebook page. If you don't want to join the group, just search up Haya Glams on Facebook. So I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok. I also have my email newsletter. Sign up to the email newsletter because you'll miss out on the Paris guide, which is coming out this summer. I post 2 emails every month, so I'm not going to clog up your emails, don't worry. So go sign up to it as well. It's linked below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon in my next video.